Saturday night in the Simulation Football League brings us to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the 2-5 Tulsa Desperados play host to the Las Vegas Fury, sitting at 4-4. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Lucy Red Energy Drink Stadium here in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Jack Brown. Alongside me here tonight is Jacob Clear. Jacob, Tulsa looking to save their season. This might be the last chance they truly have at doing it. And if they want to have a win here tonight, they got to find a way to upgrade that rushing attack.
Good evening, Jack. Good evening, SFL Nation. I'm back in the booth tonight, and yeah, this is a really enticing matchup. It's good to be back with you. And Tulsa, they came off a big win last week. They were able to resist the storm of the San Diego Mavericks offense that threw up 64 odd passes against them to pull out a tight win, 44-41. And Vegas have been playing in fits and spurts, but they won Vice Wars last week, and we'll be looking to build off of that as they look to extend their record beyond 500.
Yes, sir. Las Vegas looking to take ahead in the West Division. Tulsa looking to keep in touch with the Central. Vegas in the white tops, black pants, set to receive the opening kickoff. Tulsa in their bog standard aquamarine home uniforms. We're underway from Oklahoma. This is going to be taken out of the end zone, up past the 10, 15, 20, up past the 25, and that is up to the 27-yard line. And Vegas takes the field for the very first time tonight.
Jacob Morrison involved as the returner. Typically that'd be Max Jackson on the receiving end of the kickoff, but they opt to involve the rookie wideout early on. But it's been the Huber-Kimbrell show for this Vegas offense. Eric Price hasn't really had much of an impact in terms of his production over the last few weeks. It's been all Huber.
That it has. 1st and 10 for Vegas. They send Mason Kirby into motion. Quick drop by Eric Price. Going to be a quick dump off. Gain of just a single yard by Huber-Kimbrell.
A good read on the outside. Just picked up the little screen there. And Tulsa's defense would know that this is what is going to be thrown at them. Complete contrast in terms of the offenses they've faced over the last 2 weeks.
That it sure is. 2nd and 9 for Vegas. Price dropping back. Price looking around, and oh, he's going to get taken down behind the line. It's a sack for the Desperados. Their first of the night. Chris Andrews is going to get the credit.
It's such a solid Tulsa defensive line, and Chris Andrews has been around for what seems like forever, anchoring that line with Berto Demora and Jaden Swift, a three-man front, along with Mike Mello, that just has been super impressive for a large part of this season.
3rd down and 17, empty backfield look for Vegas. Price going to throw it over the middle, it's picked off! That's going to go the other way, he's got a block down the sideline to the 10, 5, and he's in! Touchdown Desperados! David Ware, the linebacker, showing he's got some hands.
David Ware returning it about 30-odd yards. He did well, tipped it up to himself. Off the pass, it was a bad read by Eric Price, and he just sort of supported his own work there and takes it back all the way. Showed real good toe. Unfortunately for the Fury, Eric Price was the only one back there, and he's not a natural tackler at all. And the early advantage swaying the way of the Desperados there with a turnover. We've seen a few pick sixes this weekend in SFL football. You can add that one to it.
Yeah, and David Ware also going to show a little bit of elusiveness at the goal line. Very fun to watch there as Tulsa taking a 7-zip lead after the big play on defense.
And you can't afford to give that up if you're Vegas. Last week they only conceded 3 points to Denver. Not even a minute and 15 gone in the game, and they've already conceded more.
They're going to kick the ball right back off to Vegas. Taken in the end zone, up past the 10. Up to the 27 again. Vegas finding themselves pretty much right where they were, only now they're down 7.
Yeah, and that's a huge play because it's going to rattle Eric Price's confidence, who, again, hasn't really been lent on much by this Vegas offense this season in terms of their passing production. It's not the start he would have hoped for at all.
1st and 10 now for the Fury after the pick 6. Price now has to have a short memory about things. Quick drop from Eric Price. Going to launch this one over to the side. 1st down. Finds Mason Kirby. And I think that's a pretty good job at forgetting what just happened.
Well, there was a sizable gap in the coverage there for Tulsa. Unfortunately, just someone needed to pick up that run from Kirby once he broke free from Shaw, the cornerback. And it's a good pickup, good read by Eric Price, and absolutely a good recovery.
Yeah, the corner just kind of sat on his zone a little bit too conservatively. And they're going to pay for it by conceding a 1st down. Handoff this time to Hubba Kimbrell. Kimbrell's going to gain 3 on that play. Solid run from one of the SFL's higher-end running backs.
Well, he is, but not in value. He's paid just eclipsed $1 million on his contract, but is obviously a third of the price of some of the other running backs in this league. But he's a real bell cow back, capable of taking over 40 carries a game.
Yeah, definitely going to be due for a big payday in the offseason. Hand off to Kimbrell again. Kimbrell's going to bounce to the outside. Not good enough, though. Tulsa sealed the edge. They saw it coming 3rd and 7.
There's Birdo, an elite defensive edge rusher that is just going to completely take away the run. And I believe his 1st season with the ball club, Tony Roberto, and that time took away Hubba Kimbrell, forces 3rd down.
3rd and 7 for Vegas. And once again, Price goes down. 2nd sack of the day. Tulsa penetrating the Vegas offensive line early.
And Nano Matthews, the 2nd season corner, gets home, and just poor protection there on the outside. Price took too long to get rid of that, and Tulsa's defense has started brilliantly in this game.
Yeah, they've been lights out. A pick 6 and a basically 3 and out. Only 1 1st down through 2 drives. That one's going to get punted away. Fielded at the 22 by the Hall of Famer, Gabriel Manning.
Yeah, well, Tulsa's defense has made life very easy so far for this Tulsa offense. There's not much pressure on them to come out and execute here on this opening drive, but the canvas has been laid out for them to really set the standard in this game. 2 early stops, including a turnover for a score. This home crowd already having an influence.
Yeah, and Tulsa comes out with one of the best passing attacks in the league, although it's not very efficient. 4th overall in yards, outside the top 20 in terms of yards per attempt. This time they're actually going to hand it off to start the drive. Hand it off to Scott Powell. Gains 3 on the play, and Tulsa's rushing attack, Jacob. You know, it's something that they have been really struggling with this year. 26th in terms of yards and 27th, dead last in the league in terms of touchdowns. Second and 7. JQ with a deep drop, gonna roll the outside. Gonna launch this one toward the corner, caught! 1st down, and that's gonna be past the midfield stripe. Gabriel Manning, showing he's not just a kick returner.
There's Gabriel Manning. 6 of his performances this season have eclipsed 100 yards receiving through the air. He's such an important asset to this offense, and a beautiful start for JQ through the air. The early rush from Powell warranted a little bit of momentum and let them sort of assess the defense that Vegas were bringing. That's a fantastic throw and read.
First down once again. Short throw over the middle. That's going to be tipped up in the air twice. Incomplete. First contact was made by Anthony Wyo, one of the newest acquisitions for this Fury franchise.
It was a good tip by Anthony Wyo, but I feel like Max Jackson could have shown a bit more urgency getting across there. The tip was a little out of place, but had Max Jackson been more on top of that, it may have been a pick.
2nd and 10 for the Desperados. Q going to move around in the pocket, goes over, gaining 7. That one finds the tight end, DJ Bandit.
And DJ Bandit, the former Baltimore Vulture, crossing over a couple of seasons ago to take up a #1 spot on this depth chart. That's a good early sighting for him.
Third down and 3. JQ moving around in the pocket, going to launch one over the middle of the field. Gabriel Manning gaining some more yards. 1st and 10.
Second target, second catch, and he's someone who is more than capable of having over 10 in a game. Again, Q just looks for him. Every time they call a play, he's going to look to where Gabriel Manning is. He's an elite wideout, big target that they can send between the gaps in Vegas's defense at time. Even though it was in double coverage, he's just such a sizable weapon that he can always make that play.
1st and 10, balls within the 25-yard line. Tulsa showing out on the offense already. Going to hand this one off to Douglas Brown to the outside. And that's going to be a gain of 6. Solid run from the veteran.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Tulsa rushing game has struggled this season. It's interesting in contrast. Last season was the coming out party for Douglas Brown, and since that point, they finished 7-5 off the back of his performances. Hasn't been able to replicate that this season.
They're going to hand it off once again, only gaining 2 yards from Douglas Brown. And that tackle is going to be made by Maurice Lloyd, the inside linebacker.
Former Queen City Corsair, Maurice Lloyd, transitioning from free safety to outside linebacker, so getting involved in run coverage in that situation.
3rd down and 2. DJ Bandit going to be sent out wide in the formation. Hand it off to Douglas Brown again, and Douglas Brown, they're going to give him the 1st down. Looked a bit skeezy from up here, but we'll see on the replay.
I feel okay with them giving him that. I think he got across the stripe and got the 1st, but it's been a good start for Douglas Brown. They needed more of that. Good short yardage.
That they do. Design draw play to Douglas Brown this time. He's going to gain 4 yards.
Yeah, I like that delayed handoff because it forces Vegas to drop back a bit. They love to play physical with their outside corners, and that instance it created a little bit of space for Brown to run into.
High form look for the Desperados. JQ looking around, going to fire towards the goal line. 1st and goal. Desperados find DJ Bandit, and he's going to do what every tight end does best. Gets the yards on the catch and takes a big hit.
Yeah, I'm amazed that JQ was able to feed that through a window. It looked like Max Jackson was going to come through and make a play on that ball, but he instead chose to stick on his receiver and prevent the touchdown rather than going for the ball. They're going to be hard to stop now.
1st down and goal. Handoff to Douglas Brown, touchdown! Put 6 more on the board for the Desperados.
A great rush, good open gap by the offensive line for Tulsa, and a good drive to match the form of their defense. And it's funny, it was almost like he was playing rugby union the way he put that ball down, dived across it, and planted it in the end zone. Love the form from Douglas Brown, but that's a good start for an individual who's struggled by and large across this season. But the passing game from JQ was sublime on that drive.
Yeah, and so far, you know, Jacob, they're looking like New Zealand did a few days ago, starting off against Italy. Hopefully for Vegas, this game does not end like that New Zealand-Italy game did.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be a sore spot for some, but it's all eyes on that driver on Gabriel Manning. Two big plays that just set up the rest of the drive for them, and DJ Bandit getting involved as well. Only two unique receivers, but efficient football from Tulsa.
Absolutely. Kick is away, going to be taken right at the goal line. This one's going to be returned once again. And they're going to find that one at the 26-yard line. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, well, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button to begin your career or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off field. It's never too late to get involved, and now more than ever that's true, folks. Lots of spots open in the newly rechristened SFLM. Got a lot of new organizations, a lot of new blood down there. It's exciting to see. 1st and 10 now for Vegas. Ball is at the 26-yard line. Price currently struggling to find first gear on offense. Going to throw it to the outside. Losing 2 yards.
It must be said, this is very unfamiliar territory for Vegas. They don't like chasing games from behind. They love getting Kimbrel the ball and draining the clock away. And it's eminent that they don't know how to respond at the moment. That pass loses 2.
Price dropping back, and once again, 3 sacks, 1 quarter. Berto Demora with the 3rd tackle on the quarterback.
There's Berto pushing through off that right edge. He's so powerful, and just unfortunately Price had no protection once he breezed past the inside guard. That's poor protection from the inside line of Las Vegas, and they pay the price.
3rd down and 17. It's trips from the Fury as they switch around. They're sending a man in motion. Vegas needs something here. This game might get ugly. Price looking downfield. Oh, no. 4 sacks. 1 quarter. Chris Andrews with his 2nd one tonight. And my, oh my. This has been quite the quarter for this Tulsa defense.
And unfortunately for Eric Price, his offensive line is struggling to cope with the pressure that Tulsa are bringing. And it's not even that they're bringing extra pressure in. It's just the sheer volume of rush that they're getting just from the defensive line. It's causing Eric Price a lot of headaches. And Tulsa, again, with a delightful start.
Yeah, and they're getting a lot of pressure to the outside, too. That's what you like to see. And they're going to return this to the 48-yard line. And folks, for all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, visit simulationfl.net for over 400 events a year. There's nowhere for more football content. First and 10 now for Tulsa. Ball's on their own 48-yard line. Pitch to the outside for Douglas Brown. Douglas Brown! Getting 2 tacklers, gains 7 on the play.
Yeah, starting to get some momentum here with Douglas Brown, and this might be a good matchup for him. The outside corners for Vegas, as elite as they are, have struggled to defend the run in some games. Although they did well against Bailey O'Shaughnessy last week, it looks like Brown's got a bit of momentum here.
Once again, another handoff. Douglas Brown on the outside is going to get a first down.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of that now because they've settled into the game, and this home crowd is really pushing them forward at the moment, Vegas. So they need to get off the field as best they can. It looks like it's going to be a real uphill battle.
1st and 10. Probably be the final play of the quarter. Handoff Douglas Brown again, 1 yard gained. 10 minutes down, half hour to go here in Tulsa. But I'm sure the party's just getting started for the Desperados. Up 14-zip. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Glad to have you alongside us here tonight. Jack Brown alongside Jacob Clear. First quarter was all Desperados, as they're looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Going to be a handoff right up the middle this time for Douglas Brown. 3rd down and 3. And this Tulsa team, I gotta say, Jacob, this is a mighty fine rushing attack.
Absolutely, and it's in contrast to what we've seen for the most part of this season.
3rd down and 3. Hand off the outside, this time to Douglas Brown. Gonna get some blocks. He's in the open. 15-10, 1 man to beat. He's gonna pile drive through him, roll over onto his back. Nearly in for 6. It's 1st and goal for Tulsa at the 1.
Superb run, but credit Lars Bazaar, who got the outside block on the far side. You called it as you saw it. That was what created the space. The tight end Bandit involved as well, and that just allowed him to rush into open space. And already averaging over 6.5 rushing yards per carry. This is a real impressive performance from this front end of this Tulsa offense to give Douglas Brown the room.
1st down and goal. Gonna be a drop back from JQ. Throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Gabriel Manning. And you know what, Jacob? I'm giving that the nice hands catch of the game. Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23. What a catch.
Well, you're right in saying that, because the ball wasn't the best placed pass you've ever seen, because it sort of was like behind him almost, but he managed to get 2 hands to it and reel it in, and they kind of threw a little bit of a curveball there with the play call and passed out of what looked like a certain goal line run set. And unfortunately for Vegas, now down by 3 scores effectively in the first 11 minutes of play. This is a disastrous start.
Yeah, a pick 6, 4 sacks on Eric Price in that first quarter alone. It's just been it's not been a good night. You know, they say in Vegas, the house always wins. And that doesn't necessarily mean you get down like this against the home team. Eric Price needs to find something soon if he wants to keep this game close. And an outside handoff to Hubba Kimbrell is certainly not that.
Tony Roberto again just completely awake to the presence of Hubba Kimbrell on an outside stretch. He just read that all the way. Great open field tackle.
Second and 11. Price throws it over the middle. One-handed grab. Third down and 2. I think the catch was made by Doug Britton. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, I think this is the first time they've had what could be considered a 3rd and short. Third down and 2. They're going to hand it off right up the middle to Kimbrell. No good. 4th and 1, and Vegas is going to have to punt it away again. Already down big in the first half.
And the telling point is that all 3 of the primary defensive linemen on Tulsa have had a big play. That time, Jaden Swift gets home on the inside, forces the stop, and Vegas just cannot get anything going.
No, they cannot. And Tulsa comes right back out onto the field, already up 3 scores.
One thing I will say, looking at results from last night, is the Central Division is wide open for Tulsa to take, and at the moment, they're playing like a team who wants to win the division.
Going to be a pitch play out to Douglas Brown, and Douglas Brown pretty much stopped where he started, 2nd and 8.
We'll see if Vegas can get off the field. They haven't been able to yet from memory. Both of the drives that Tulsa have had so far to start this game have resulted in scores. It's been a tough night for both sides of the ball for Vegas.
Second and 8, they're going to hand it off opposite side for Douglas Brown, but he can't get out of the way of his own blocker. And that's John Osiris with the TFL.
Yeah, better read. He got caught behind one of the linemen initially, as you mentioned, and then Osiris was able to just bounce through and finish it off and loses 1.
Third and long for Tulsa. JQ launches at Gabriel Manning. Going across the midfield stripe. 1st and 10. You could see a smoke trail coming off that football.
Oh, he's just a superstar, Gabriel Manning. And in past seasons, he hasn't been as strong as a receiver as you probably would have wanted him to be. More known for his return ability. This season has been a really impressive showing. He's comfortably the #1 wideout in the league this season, and it just continues to make fantastic plays.
They're going to hand it off to Douglas Brown this time. Gains 5 on the play. And they are still picking up solid carries.
It's better progress. The last couple of runs he's had were read comfortably. That one picks up about 5 and sets him up.
Second down and 5. Douglas Brown gets the call once more, and he's going to get up to a 3rd and inches. Handoff on the short run needed. He gets the yardage, though. Another 1st down for Douglas Brown.
He looked like he was going to get folded there in the backfield. One of the linebackers exploded off the edge and got the read on him, but he was able to evade that and get the 1st.
Yeah. As I was going to say, 1st down Douglas Brown. That kind of has a bit of a ring to it. They're going to give him the ball once more as he gains 4 on the play and is laid out on the ground. The turf nearly consumed him whole as Max Jackson made him pay for running the football. Be another bounce out to the outside, 3rd and 1. They're going to mark him a bit short, 3rd and 1. Third down and 1. They give it to Brown again. He's not going to get it. For the first time today, the Vegas defense finally gets something to go their way. And even then, it's only a 4-point net loss.
Brooke Brown out to knock that one over, but yeah, first time they've been able to get a stop.
Kick is up and kick is good. 24-0.
Well, the result's a result at the end of the day for Vegas, and again, Maurice Lloyd was the one that got the stop on Brown. Again, Tulsa looked very good moving downfield, but you now need to respond as an offense to what you've been throwing out early. It just hasn't been working. You need to adjust.
High kick going to be taken out of the end zone. Now it's going to be bounced the outside. Another run back, getting them right back to where they started. Feeling a little bit like Groundhog's Day for the Vegas offense.
And it's hard to tell what they're really going to do, because it's evident that they brought out an approach today that was going to get the ball a lot to Hubbard Kimbrell, both in the ground game and also in the receiving game. They're going to need to try and find a way of venturing away from that. Now is not the time, especially with 3.5 minutes left in the half, to be going to the ground.
Kimbrell gets the first call of the drive, and it's going to be just a single yard. Roberto with the tackle.
Yeah, Roberto's had a really good start. He's been all over him thus far, and unfortunately, Hubbard Kimbrell's very good at those short yardage situations. Didn't quite get it there, but unfortunately, he's just not that capable of breaking one off.
And then 5 sacks! 5 on the day! Tulsa's D-line has been feasting like it's Thanksgiving, and Eric Price is the unfortunate turkey.
Yeah, and Max Jackson, the head coach, is shaking his head because his offensive line just collapsed again, but David Ware just went straight through. No regard for the health of the quarterback, and this Tulsa linebacker, he and Roberto have both been playing at a high level.
3rd and long, Eric Price gonna find a nice pickup for a first down. Prince Wonder with the reception.
And that was a laser. He put plenty of pepper on that one to find his man and gets the first down. They made tough work of it, but progress is progress.
Yeah. Some would call that catch wonderful. I'll see myself out of the comedy club. 1st and 10 for the Fury. Gonna hand off to Kimbrell again. Kimbrell tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And it's just not been very good on the rushing attack so far for Vegas. Second and 11. This time they're going to throw it to Hubba Kimbrell. Kimbrell gains back the yards, but only makes it 3rd and 8.
And again, forcing Price to have to convert here on a 3rd and long at the end of the 2-minute break.
2 minutes to go. Vegas looking for something, anything on this drive to make the game a bit closer. 24-0. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. It's been a rough one so far for the Vegas Fury. And a matchup history where usually when they win, they're the ones dominating. Eric Price, 6 sacks! It's a 6-pack on number 8. And Tulsa's D-line looking like an elite unit.
Absolutely, this is a Chris Andrews masterclass on the edge. Has once again gotten home on the QB, and this is what I said earlier. This is completely unfamiliar territory for Vegas. They are used to getting into grinds with their opposition and trying to outlast their opponent. At the moment, they're chasing the game considerably, and unfortunately, they are unable to adjust.
Run to the outside. 1st and 10 from the 24 as Tulsa now is looking to extend their lead going into the main break.
Yeah, this could be devastating if Tulsa are able to get any kind of score up before the end of the half. And also, it looks highly likely they're going to shut Vegas out in the first half. This is just a completely lopsided affair here in Tulsa.
1st and 10 for JQ. And off the outside for Douglas Brown. Douglas Brown only gains a single yard. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action. Help the channel grow through your support. Second and 9. JQ throws the outside, finds Gabe Manning. And that's going to be first down, actually. It's not Gabe Manning. See it called his name so often. Rather, it's DJ Hume.
First sighting to a receiving target not named Gabriel Manning or DJ Bandit. This time finds Hume on the outside. They've let the clock run, so it doesn't look like there's much intent to put up another score here at the half, and I think Vegas will probably appreciate that.
Yeah, they don't want to be completely dead and buried. There's still about another 20 minutes of football to go after this. Handoff outside to Douglas Brown. He's going to gain 6 yards. And I think that's going to be the last play Tulsa runs in this half.
Yeah, which is probably a result for Vegas. They would have... You could argue that the game would have been over and done with unless Brown breaks one off here.
Well, let's see. They're going to hand off Douglas Brown. He almost broke it off. I'll give him credit where credit's due. But to end the half, Tulsa up 24-0 after 20 minutes of football. Jacob, I mean, it's been all Tulsa all day and all night.
Well, the one thing I'll say is pending something completely unforeseen and a complete change in the progress of the game in the second half, Tulsa are playing like a team that wants to take the division. 3 teams in the Central sit at 3-5, and should this result remain, they too will go to 3-5. And honestly, after the last 2 weeks, Tulsa probably suddenly become favourites seemingly overnight after the results last night where Sioux Falls were beaten comfortably by Fort Worth and Minnesota were knocked off by Mexico City. This team is on fire at the moment, and they look every part of a team that can make the playoffs again after doing it last season.
Yeah, Douglas Brown getting the halftime player of this game. And who's to say otherwise? He's had a great first half so far. Either way, folks, welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing and the energy is palpable here for the sea green, red, and silver of the Desperados. Second half kickoff is underway. Ball fielded at the 5. Taken up to the 30.
we'll see how Max Jackson's halftime team talk comes out here, and they desperately need an early stop here just to give themselves a chance of potentially getting their offense some good field position. But if Tulsa keep driving the way they were in the second quarter, this is going to get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, one can hope Max Jackson found some Dan Campbell-esque quotes. They're going to hand off to Douglas Brown on the designed draw. Gains 9 on the first play of the second half. And already, Douglas Brown right back from where he left off.
Yeah, and I'm going to say you jinxed the Vegas defense with that call there on the Dan Campbell team talk. I'm going to blame you for that one, but a great start for Brown, just straight back to it.
First down run on the moderate gain from Douglas Brown.
Yeah, there's been little adjustment to Vegas' defense eminently because they've still trying to play this zone that is being picked apart simply because of the way that they're running. They are happy to test the middle on short yardage situations and move it to the outside on first downs.
Pitch to the outside, Douglas Brown! Douglas Brown getting another huge run! And that's
Scott Powell, the second tailback who got involved in that. They've brought him out once before in a spread look, and unfortunately for Vegas, the audible that was called, well, they sent the receiver in motion, I think, threw them off, and it created a lot of space on the outside for Powell to run into. And it just gives Douglas Brown a breather as he comes back into the fold here.
Douglas Brown picks one up off to the outside. Second down and 3. Second and short. They're going to find Douglas Brown again as he sheds one tackler, not going to shed the second. Just a smidge behind the line to gain.
And even though he didn't get it on that occasion, it's going to set up a really comfortable third down run. They're going to go straight back to him as Vegas have struggled to really hold him. But this is the opportunity. You've got to take this if you're Vegas. You've got to get a stop.
And that's a first down for the Desperados. Almost said a different name there. And
that's unfortunate. They had a good read on the outside, and they just couldn't quite capitalize on it. A good block on the outside tight end.
Another run to the outside. That's going to be Max Jackson on the tackle. As Tulsa's looking to slow the game right down this second half.
Yeah, that puts Brown over 100 yards on the ground. So our stats brought to us by Ron Haynes and Ethan Kai. Appreciate you boys hanging out with us.
Oh, Douglas Brown's going to shed a tackler. He's going to shed one tackler, and he's going to break through for a first down. 4.5 minutes eclipsed already.
And the moment he got that angle, it was almost game over. It was lucky that, I believe it was Wire who pushed back and got a late block, a late hit rather, and was able to prevent the touchdown collectively with the safety Jackson, but that was risky.
Another pitch, and it's going to be nothing gained, nothing lost. Mercatero with the tackle.
It was
And if
like
you're
Terra last time. I got to check myself. That was he saved the touchdown, and once again getting involved. I wonder if Tulsa are going to try and test out his left-hand side of the Vegas defense, because that's been where the gaps have been.
They're going to give the ball off once again to him, and he's going to gain a few more yards on top of it. Unfortunately for Vegas, this has been a bit of a disaster of a drive, as they've nearly lost half the third quarter already, down 4 scores. And if they punch it in, they'll be down pretty much 5. Fortunately for them, though, they're going to wrap up Scott Powell behind the line of scrimmage, so the game's still within reach.
Yeah, at the very least, you hold them to 3, but you're right, and the reality is that I don't think Tulsa passed once on that drive. It was all run. Powell had 2 touches. Apart from that, it was all Douglas Brown. They responded and just ran the clock down. A 5-minute drive.
Kick is up. Kick is good. 27 zip. Vegas. Deep, deep in the hole. They need to find a way to dig themselves out.
His second field goal of the game for Brook Brown, and that means that it's now a 4-score game. This is an uphill battle, if ever, for Las Vegas, and they've got to show something on this drive. If you don't see anything from them here, it could be shut the gate time.
Absolutely. Kick is away. This one's going to be returned once more by Vegas. And I think the ball is out. No, it was not. It would have indicated it to me. But alas. Folks, don't forget that tomorrow, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the Louisiana Revolution head to Atlanta to take on the upset-minded Swarm. Followed in quick succession by Carolina visiting Florida, as both try to stop the losing trend. It all comes your way tomorrow night, right here on SFL YouTube. And if you're subscribed, it'll pop up in your notifications box, so make sure you're subscribed. Vegas needing a big play here. They're going to hand it off to Kimball. Oh my goodness! They laid him out! And that's going to be a first down on Kimbrell's biggest run of the day so far.
Well, it's the first time we've seen that, really, from Hubbard Kimbrell. It's been a really tough night for him. That time, poor old that's inside linebacker just got sent straight down into the center of the earth from Hubbard Kimbrell. And that's a play that they really needed.
They essentially said, hey, you want to feel how my quarterback felt that first half? Boom! Eric Price going to throw across his body, intercepted! And already, Tulsa gets it right back. And after probably the best play for Vegas today, goes right back to one of the worst, as one of the fans is getting this little boogie on.
Well, you can take your pick out of player of the game, and in my opinion, it'll either be Tony Roberto or David Ware. One of those two on the defense. Roberto's had a ton of work trapping Hubbard Kimbrell. That time he gets involved in pass coverage and gets a pick. Unfortunately, as soon as he threw that, Bryce, it looked like it was going to be pick tall money. There was just too many coverage players involved. Bad read off a bad throw.
Yeah, especially a cross-body throw like that. It was never going to work. Douglas Brown gets the pitch, start the drive, going to lose 4 yards. And I understand that while Tulsa's in cruise control, I'd like to see them throw the ball again.
Well, that's it. I mean, you make a point all the time about football, and when you've got leads like this, you want to put the foot down and really put the score up, and you want to put the Central Division on notice. Oh, look at the pocket.
And that's going to be a nice throw. Nice pocket developing, but the defensive back was there to make the play. Play made by Mercatero, paired up with Anthony Wayo.
Tulsa's offensive line collective unit there, just gave him so much time to throw that. Eric Price has not had that luxury at all tonight. I mean, we mentioned how he's been sacked 6 times in the opening half. It's been a complete different story for JQ. Look at that block again.
Oh, yeah, the pass blocking's immaculate, but the throw was immaculate. The coverage was immaculate. 4th and 14. Itero with another huge breakup. And a perfect response from Vegas after the huge interception.
It looked deep for Curry Jones, but you're right. It seemed like the defense cancelled out the offense in that instance. All really well executed, but Itera, such a big body on the outside of that Vegas defense, able to get in and make the play.
And that's going to be run to the outside. Up to the 20. There's going to be a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is. Oh, it's going to be, I think, an incidental face mask on Tulsa. Yeah, it's going to be adding a few yards onto it.
Tulsa fans not impressed with that call. I'm trying to work out who it was on. It's an interesting flag, all things considered, but it gives him a little extra momentum.
Yeah, it kind of helps him out a little bit, you know? 1st and 10 once more. Kimbrel lays a man out. Oh my goodness. He's putting down the shoulder. He's going pop.
Yeah, Harper Kimbrel's got the case of the zoomies here. He's just leveled another one of the Tulsa defenders straight up. Poor old corner there involved. Yeah. He had no hope.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, they often say that a player's got that dog in him. He certainly has that right now, and that dog got a case of the zoomies. Once again, it's going to be another handoff to Hubba Kimbrel. Kimbrel picking up the 1st down off forward progress. Even if he might have not gotten there originally. And that's going to be another handoff. 2nd and 8.
Now, unfortunately, this is the way that Vegas like to play offensively, but the scoreline doesn't present the opportunity to do this. And let's see if they try and go to the pass at some point.
Throw over the middle. That's going to be a high-pointed ball. 1st and 10 from Doug Britton.
Yeah, there's Dougie. It's been a rough season for him. He walked in as the top receiver on the depth chart, and he's been hit or miss across the course of the season. The volume just hasn't been there for him as it has been in previous seasons. Goodness
That's
me.
going to be a single yard on
David
the body slam. David Ware, you know, maybe David Ware should consider a career WWE once he's done here, you know?
Absolutely. Just put up the boomstick and sent him straight out. He's had enough of the treatment Hubba Kimbrel has been giving some of his other defensive teammates.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting a little bit of shiftiness. Trying to be a little bit elusive. Throwing up the smoke screen. Eric Price looking around, going to throw to the outside, wide open. Finds the window. And that's going to be another gain. This time by Jacob Morrison. First time we called his name
Morrison. Yeah, first season, first reception of the night. Normally he's more of a deep threat that they like to pull into the slot and send him on a post route or a go. This instance, he just kind of runs a medium route and gets the first, but it's progress.
And that's another 1-yard gain as David Ware continues to exact his will on the Vegas defense.
Yeah, he's been everywhere, all over this Vegas offense between he and Roberto and the front three, or front four, I should say, from Tulsa. It's just been a masterclass in forward pressure.
And that's tipped right up into the air. Incomplete. Defensive line getting on that one. Getting out on the party.
Jaden Swift getting the tip that was almost picked off. If that, hit the tip of his fingers and flew back a bit, you never know what could have eventuated there.
Another throw over the middle. That's going to be a gain of 9 on 3rd down to Mason Kirby, 4th and 1.
Well, the question is, do you go for it? I mean, they're going to kick out the kicking team, but to save themselves from being shut out, but I suppose you can't blame them.
I guess, but wow. Kick is up. And the kick is good. Tulsa pitched a shutout. And unfortunately, it's not going to stand.
Well, it was the first half shutout, and so far that's the only score they put on the board. And really, it's the first drive that they've kind of strung together, Vegas. It's been tough going and took a couple of explosive runs from Hubba Kimbrell to kind of get it going, and then the pass was able to get moving, but it's just not enough, unfortunately.
Run to the outside, 1st and 10.
There you go. Statisticians Ron Haynes and Ethan Kai. Vegas are yet to have an offensive play worth over 20 yards. That's telling.
And that's quite underwhelming of an offensive performance. Meanwhile, Tulsa has been slowing it right down this whole 3rd quarter long, as that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd. 27-3, Tulsa looking to close out this game with a W. Vegas, let's see if they can make something out of this. You're watching the SFL on YouTube.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
And folks, APM Music is unrivaled music bringing your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the SFL. To explore the library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Love seeing all the 4s, 12s, 68s, and 86s in chat. Douglas Brown's going to gain 2 yards on the pitch play to the outside.
And they're just going to try and run this clock down. It's clear that they've entered the second half not wanting to go too aggressive offensively. I'll have a crack here on 3rd down, see if they can convert, but don't be surprised if Douglas Brown ends up with over 30 carries in this game.
Launching one down the field is JQ. And it's going to be incomplete as the Tulsa offense this second half, Jacob. Apart from that one drive, they kind of sputtered out.
Yeah, he's looking for Sonzo Robinson that time, the running back turned wide receiver. He's just trying to get some of his other weapons involved. So far, it's just really been a case of the defense winning the game for them.
Vegas still with a chance to make this a ball game if they can get a touchdown here. They haven't done it yet. Heck, they haven't even gotten more than 20 yards on a single play, but alas, let's see what they come up with. Launching one over the middle is Eric Price. That's going to be a gain of 12. A nice gain from Vegas.
Yeah, it's something, and you've just basically got to try and find something that works, because in future you won't want to be playing like this when you're chasing a game. They really did not have a plan B tonight and they didn't expect. I think that first play of the game really might have been what won it, because I don't think they expected to go down on their first possession. It completely turned the game.
And that's going to be a quick handoff up the middle. Only 5 yards on the carry from Brad Taylor Wright, the fullback. His first carry tonight. Second and 5. That's going to be a first down. They're going to give it to him on the Hubba Kimbrell handoff. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, that was a close one. Tulsa are not in the mood to be throwing challenges at this point.
Handoff of the middle, gain of 4. Second down and 6. And that's going to be on a design draw for Hubba Kimbrell. And still, they can't find really much of anything going consistently on the run game.
No, I mean, he's had a couple of good runs where he's been able to break first contact, but Marco Swift in chat wondering if he's going to do something this game. I mean, it's the virtue of the fact that the front end of Tulsa's defense has been playing that well, and Vegas haven't really tested their secondary much.
No. Deep drop, throw to the corner, intercepted! And that's going to go right back the other direction, down the sideline with a little spin move. Oh my goodness, he's in open space! That's a touchdown!
Out the gate.
Tulsa Desperados are going to win this game. And that's Nate Heslep with the Lambo leap to boot. Although, I guess it's the Lucy Red leap, right?
Well, he would have been drinking the Lucy Red energy on the sideline while they were off the field, and came out, and my guy looked like a running back returning that, put the Ferrari on the sideline and just took that back all the way. Lovely spin move to get rid of the guard, and there was no one left in front of him. Beautiful return. Second pick 6 of the game for Eric Price. This has been a disastrous game from the quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, with a run like that, Jacob, if he was over in the 8-4-3, he might have been made into a running back. Extra point is up and good. 34-3. It's been a slaughter by the Tulsa defense. They loaded up their 6 shooters, and they've laid down the firepower.
Yeah, wow. Telling. I mean, it's going to be 30 plus on the board, and fortunately for Vegas, I keep coming back to this point that this is just not a game script that they're comfortable with at all. while we're watching this return,
Yeah.
I just want to note again, I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but this result tonight for Tulsa puts the Central Division on notice. Minnesota have slipped in terms of their form. Indianapolis are the other team that's going to really challenge for it. They are playing on the other side of this time block, but Tulsa have made a true statement tonight. This is a massive win.
Especially on defense in a division where everyone else has been kind of faltering on offense. Throw to the outside. That's going to be intercepted again! And not down by contact. Another pick for Tulsa as the defense, my oh my, they've had their way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Eric Price hasn't, and it's another pick that was just way too easy, but a good read and coverage by Cameron Shaw, who's had a couple of good touches tonight defensively.
First and 10, balls on the 34, hand off the outside to Douglas Brown. He's going to gain 3 yards.
Yeah, and I want to note, just looking ahead at the schedule for Tulsa, you wouldn't believe this. They have, of their 4 games left next week, they have to travel to Indianapolis on week 14 at home, back here at Lucy Red Energy Stadium against the Minnesota Legend. So 2 crucial games left on Tulsa's schedule to potentially force themselves into that 12 seed.
JQ moving around in the pocket, going to throw across his body. I don't think he's had a completion in this second half.
Well, he hasn't needed to, has he? I mean, the production of Douglas Brown has been just huge in that instance. Just overthrew that, and unfortunately, the contact may have been questionable from the Vegas defender, but no harm.
Third and 7. JQ looking around, going to throw, and that's going to be a first down within the 30.
Again, it finds Curry Jones on the outside, and Tulsa just keep the good times rolling here. This stadium is enjoying this thoroughly, and especially looking after last week. It's funny, they've gone from having a game where JQ was forced into keeping pace with the Johnny Pickler-led offense that just continued to pass. Tonight, they've been very satisfied with their choices to rush the ball a heap.
Hand off to the outside, gains 2. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and again, I think we're going to get a game update soon for this other game, because that's going to hold a lot of implications for Tulsa's season as they now look to come back to 3-5. That's going to be huge.
Another handoff's going to gain him a single yard as the time's winding down. And Vegas sure could hope that clock could hit triple zeros. JQ throws the sideline, tipped up. Incomplete, probably the
Story
worst.
of the night.
Yeah. Probably the worst throw of the night, though. That wasn't an interception.
And I just want to make note as well of not just talking about Tulsa's division implications, but also for Vegas. They've won 2 in a row leading into this game, and they've beaten Arizona recently, who are the division leaders. And tonight, they just have not played like a team who's chasing the division title. It's just been a complete snoozer from Vegas tonight.
Yeah. Tulsa flipping the script tonight, putting the league on notice. And their fellow Central Division mates. return on its way. This one's going to be taken out past the 15 to the 20 to the 25 to the 30. And before Vegas gets this drive going, let's send it back to SFL HQ for a game update from Cameron Irvine.
Well, at least we'll get a close game tonight, Jack and Jacob, but unfortunately it's not going to be in Tulsa. How about Alamo City at Indy? The artillery didn't have a touchdown the whole half, and just before the end of the first half, Jukin Jr. with a pick six. 16-14, Alamo City on top of Indy. They just started the second half. Back to you in Tulsa.
As Vegas gets a first down, one of the few times I've seen that tonight is Indianapolis. I gotta say, I've never seen them wear those uniforms before. Quite fascinating. So the outside, oh, wouldn't you know it? Just as they had hope, it gets ripped from the skies by Hawks.
And look, that's a backup, Jack. This is the point that it's gotten to. It's also putting backups on the field, and if they're still making errors offensively, this is just a disastrous performance across the board. I mean, their defense has held up okay at certain points, but offensively they just did not have a reply to the early start that Tulsa had.
No, this is quite possibly Vegas' worst offensive performance since they got shut out by the Baltimore Vulture. That was, oh gosh, that was many, many moons ago. All the way back in season 17. And this has been their worst, currently their worst road offensive output since, well, that same game. Hit off the outside, that's going to be loss of 2. Tulsa, currently, by the way, just 1 point shy of their biggest margin of victory in franchise history. Their biggest one being a 35-point win back in season 13 over Houston, 45-10. I think that was a little bit before you arrived in Houston, right, Jacob?
It would have been, and looking historically, Vegas, you mentioned that shutout in season 17. This is the second time in Vegas' history they've been held to 3 points or less.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's at least the third time they've gone without a touchdown. The other time they did that against Charleston back in week 1 of season 17. They're going to hand this off up the middle. 4th down and 10. As Vegas kind of stops the bleeding. Kind of. High punt is away. Going to be taken at the 15, up past the 20, 25 to the 28. Folks, Monday Night Spectaculars return this week with our first flex of the season. The 5-3 Arizona Scorpions will welcome the 4-4 Portland Fleet in primetime October 2nd. That's in just 2 days. This week in the SFL at 7:15, kickoff at 8:15. The playoffs are almost here, and you won't want to miss the action this week in a crucial matchup for the playoff race. .216 remaining in the ball game. Throw to the outside, that's going to be caught, and enough for a first down as Vegas enters the hurry-up. Oh gosh, look at that stat line. Price once again going to the outside, it's going to be incomplete, 2nd and 10, stops the clock for the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and that's a rough stat line for Eric Price. He's going to need to shelve this one away leading into the final few weeks of the season. It's still going to be at 4-5. It's not, all hope is not lost, but you've got to have more diversity and more responses to different game scripts. Today was just nowhere near good enough.
No, not at all. They're going to get a first down again, though. As that's going to get down to the 2-minute warning. Vegas trying to pretty up the results, get a touchdown on the board. Tulsa, well, if they have their way, that ain't going to happen. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on the SFL's YouTube page. Quick drop back from Eric Price, throws down. That's going to be incomplete, 2nd and 10.
A tough coverage again by Cameron Shaw, just getting across and taking the receiver out of the play there. And it's just, you at least just hope for Vegas' sake that they can get a score on the board and make this scoreline a bit more respectable.
Yeah. Plus side, though, for Vegas, they get the week off next week to tend to their wounds before they have to go over and play Minnesota. Tipped incomplete as the passing woes continue for Eric Price.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Tulsa are going to want to keep the good times rolling next week at Indianapolis. And this is a really important win for them because they're going to be playing a side that is in really good form as well in that Central Division. It's funny how initially it looked like Minnesota and Sioux Falls were the favourites to battle out for that division title, and over the last few weeks it's shifted in favour of Tulsa and Indianapolis.
Gonna be another throw, and it's incomplete. Intended for Mason Kirby. And honestly, at this point, it's kind of just waiting around until they throw either another interception or turn the ball over on downs.
Well, it was either almost a 6th there in that instance. It was an athletic play to get up by the corner, unable to reel it in.
Slings it to the outside to Mason Kirby. That's going to be found for a first down. And they're going to call their first timeout of the night.
Well, I mean, you may as well, at this point, you're just trying to get confidence back into your weapons offensively. I mean, Kirby has actually been decent tonight in terms of his production. He's strung a couple of good games together over the last few weeks, but at the very least, just get some confidence back into Eric Price.
Unfortunately, a sack is not going to restore confidence. I think that's now, like, what, 7 sacks on number 8
It is 7,
tonight?
and he hasn't been touched since the first half, rather. Tulsa's defensive line was a little bit more conservative in the back end of this half, but that was just lazy from the interior line.
Yeah, they're clearly kind of already... They're clearly checked out of this game already. Throw to the outside, way overthrown to Mason Kirby. And even if they're moving the ball down the field, Jacob, this is still a sloppy drive from Vegas.
Yeah, it's all over the place, isn't it? But again, it's because they've been thrown off their usual trajectory in terms of how they like to approach the game. They've just had to completely abandon Hubba Kimbrell for the most part of this game, and that's not the way they like to play. And it's comparable to Minnesota and how the way that they play when Colin Hart is taken out of the game. Oh, nice.
Third and long, that's a first down. Good for them. They're going to take their final timeout.
That's a good touch. Found Doug Britton looking long and was able to pick up a first, but that's, it's been he's struggled to find his men downfield, and it's just disappointing because they've got so much talent in this receiving core, and it just hasn't been used. John Blades hasn't even been sighted.
They're going to throw to the flats this time. Steps out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. Preserve some time.
Like, that's unbelievable to me. Like, one of the premier tight ends in the league, former #1 wide receiver on this depth chart, and John Blades. We haven't even called his name out. And they've been using formations that haven't featured him either. He's in the frame here, I believe, but it seems like they just did not have the approach right to this game.
Give me another throw. That's going to be down to the 10. First and goal for Vegas. Throw to the outside. Sheds a tackler. Touchdown! Vegas. Only took him 38 minutes, 50 seconds. Well, they put one in the end zone.
There you go. Well, one Dougie B has been all over the Vegas defense in this game, but that Dougie B gets a touchdown and will make this scoreline a little bit more presentable leading forward. And Eric Price is able to get a score up on the board before the game is out. The drive was a little inconsistent, but a score is a score.
Did himself all right. 37-10 is the current score. They're going to try the onside kick, and if they don't, then this will probably wrap it all up. And yep, that's going to be recovered. And that should be the ball game. Tulsa is going to come out with a big win in a franchise night for the organization.
Yeah, huge night. And the game across us on this block, Alamo City scored again, so they're up 23-14, but Indy is driving, so I'm sure all eyes will be turned on to that game when this one concludes. But this is mightily disappointing for a team that was chasing the top end of the division and were right there with Arizona in terms of the rest of the season stretch. It's completely unfolded for them tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty much a disaster. But for Tulsa, I mean, I can't think of a game that's gone better for them this year.
Absolutely, and just touching on the over-under, this is the second time tonight that the over-under has been really tight. A great line by Jack's Data to bring that out, but it looks like it'll just miss with Tulsa in the victory formation. We'll get the under, but Tulsa nearly covered it on their own. But a real statement win for the Desperados tonight.
But alas, 7 sacks, 5 interceptions. It's a defensive showing from the Desperados as they hang 37 points, only concede 10, and, well, 7 of those came in the final minute. Just a dominant display from Tulsa. And Vegas, well, at least they have 2 weeks to figure out the answers to the question. The game is over here in Oklahoma, 37-10. And Jacob, what more can be said about this game?
Well, we've kind of touched on it already. This is huge for both sides, but for different reasons. Tulsa now putting pressure on the Central, and if the result over in the Alamo City game remains the same, all teams in the Central will walk into Week 11 at 3-5. Unbelievable, the tension in that division, so competitive. In contrast for Vegas, all hope is not lost. They're going to move to 4-5 and tie with, I believe, they're going to still be a win back from Arizona. But again, there's so much that can still happen in the final few weeks, but a much needed adjustment is necessary. Look at Douglas Brown, 40 carries for 144 yards. If you wanted to pinpoint a player of the game, it would be him. Max Jackson, 17 tackles for Vegas. That is ridiculous as well.
Yeah, all that in
it-
an effort like this from the rest of his team.
Absolutely, but the telling point for me was the front seven for Tulsa, not just Chris Andrews with 3 sacks, Berta Demora had 1, and I believe it was Mike Mello who had another as well, but also David Ware and Tony Roberto were huge tonight. Massive performance from Tulsa's defense.
Yeah, give the game ball to everyone on the front 7 there out in Oklahoma. From all of us here at the SFL, I've been Jack Brown, alongside Jacob Clear. Special thanks to Ethan Kai and Ron Haynes in the stats truck, and Cameron Irvine for producing the ball game. We say so long, and have a wonderful weekend full of football action.